Hey guys, how's it going? It's Calvin Raab. Now, whenever it comes to finance and people talking about making a lot of money, oftentimes a lot of people make it sound like you have to dramatically just change your life if you want to start making a whole lot of money. And I don't necessarily think that that's the case. It can work, but I do think there's another way. And that other way is by making small little life changes. Just little slight changes you don't even really notice. But in the long run, they can turn into different habits and they can make you a lot of money in the end. So these are small little habits and small little things that you can change and start implementing into your life today that in the long run, in a few years, you can start to see that they're making you a whole lot of money. And the cool thing is, you may not even really notice them at first. So I'm going to go over 10 of them, and by the end, I hope you get some that you can start implementing into your life. So let's jump into the first one, that little change that can make you a lot of money. And of course, if you're new here, my name's Calvin Raab. Here I make videos all about personal finance, so if you're interested in anything like that, I would love it if you would subscribe. The first little change you can make is round up savings. Now, this is just starting to become popular. I think Acorns is one thing that really made it popular, and that is essentially if you're spending money on your debit card or something like that, and your bill comes to $9.50. What round up savings does is it will round that up to $10, and that 50-cent difference, it will then invest. Now, it may seem like very little amount of money, but in the long run, it will start to become real money. Think of all your different transactions you do. Each time you do it, 10, 20 cents thrown into your savings account. So it is a little tricky right now to find places that do round up savings. If you just search it into Google, you'll be able to find different places that do it. But it is a great way to start really growing your wealth without even really thinking about it, in just little bits at a time. I'm hoping that this really catches on in bigger banks and different investment places will start to do it more and more, but round up savings as a small way, don't really notice, but it can make you a lot of money. Number 2, and I kind of live by the mantra of knowledge is power. So this one has to do with listen to finance, podcasts, and books in the car. Now, this has really changed kind of the way I look at finances. So I no longer listen to music in the car. I now am always listening to different podcasts and different Audible books and different things like that. And it's amazing how much you can get through. I mean, if you think about it, I drive probably an hour a day, 20 minutes to work, 20 minutes to different classes here and there, and it comes to about an hour. And I feel like I'm being really productive because I'm getting through so many books, so many podcasts, and even sometimes if I feel like I'm kind of dazing a little bit, not really paying attention, I am in the back burners really kind of picking this all up. And I find that in a week, I'm like, man, I just made it through a book and that podcast, and oh boy, do I feel like I know a whole lot. So it is a little tough at first because oftentimes listening to podcasts can be seen as a little more boring than maybe just listening to music. But now if I listen to music in the car, I get bored. I always just want to be learning something new. So if you guys have any podcast recommendations, I would love it if you would drop it in the comments below. I just would love to go through there, and I'm always here to learn something new. So just let me know what podcasts you guys are listening to down below. But listening to podcasts in the car has really changed and helped me learn so much more. Number 3 is credit card responsibility. Now, this is kind of a general term, but what I mean here is if you use credit cards on your expenses, it can start to make you a lot of money because you can start getting cash back deals and different things like that. Now, my kind of mantra with credit cards, I always say that they are almost this double-edged sword where if you're not responsible, you can easily get into debt, and that's just not a good situation. So what I recommend doing with credit cards is I do recommend using them if you're responsible, but have them paid off in full every single month. They just deduct from your bank account. You can set up that payment plan within your credit card so you don't even have to think about it. And if you ever feel like you have to turn that automatic deposit or paid in full off, then don't use the credit card. So just have that paid off in full every single month. You don't have to think about it. That way, if you have a credit card's reward system, whether it be miles or points or cash back or anything like that, you can start getting rewards for purchases you would have made normally. Never buy anything just because you'll get a reward. No, only buy it if you would have on a debit card. The number 4 kind of small change that can make you a lot of money is automatic deposits. Now, when I say automatic deposits, this can be maybe into an investing account or maybe even a savings account. So the great thing about automatic deposits is over time they grow a lot. And you just kind of get in the habit of every single week, every single month putting in more money and saving even more. So it doesn't even have to be big. You can start small. Maybe $25 a month. You can just start there. That's all you got to do is $25 a month. Or maybe you want to do it weekly, $5 a week or something like that. And just get in the habit of every week saving a little more. And you kind of be shocked at the end of the year. You're like, man, I have a lot of money now invested. And it's great if you can kind of bump that up a little more, challenge yourself to invest more and more, and just get in the habit of setting up these direct deposits. That way, don't even really have to think about it. It can be right off your check, it can be right off your balance, or your just checking balance there. Just every month it's deducted. So what you want to do is step away from it and have it do it for you. That way you don't have to think about it. You want it all to be automated. The number 5 small thing that you can do that can make a big change in your checking account or how much money you have is pause before purchase. Now, my kind of rule of thumb here is if I'm buying something for less than $5, I quickly ask myself the question, is this something that I need? Is this something that is going to be worth it, that is worth me spending money on? So it's just a quick question to make me think about it a little more. If something is a little bit more than that, but it's under $100, then I probably take about 30 seconds to examine it even more. Is this going to give me the return on investment that I want? Is this going to really be worth it? Because sometimes it's easy to spend under $100. It may not seem like too much every once in a while. They do add up, so I do take about 30 seconds to really ask myself, in 1 week, 2 weeks, is it still going to be worth it? What's the return I'm going to get on this? And the last one is for more expensive purchases. So over $100, and oftentimes this has to do with purchases around $500, $600, maybe even more. And what I do here is I try to wait 24 hours. So if I'm buying something that is very expensive, I kind of think on it, I try to sleep on it, and maybe I'll get an opinion from one of my friends or something like that, just seeing if it's really worth it, and just taking more time on it. We kind of live in this world of that buy with one click mentality that Amazon has introduced, and when you want something, you want it now. So we really want to jump on it, and pausing is really hard. But I found many times that when I'm going to spend something and I kind of sit on it, or I really ask questions and interrogate myself about it, I end up not buying it. And it saved me a lot of money. I used to not really think about my purchases if they were cheap, but now I start to say, hey, I'm saving maybe 30, 40, 50 bucks a month because I'm not buying some of these little trinkets that I used to buy. Number 6, and this kind of goes against the credit card one I was talking about, but this one is pay in cash. Now, one of the reasons to do this is because there have been so many studies that have shown that when you pay in cash, you're much more likely to want to save money, because when you physically have the dollar bill in your hand or the money in your hand and you hand it off, it's much more of an kind of emotional transaction, because you see the money leaving your hand as the other person accepts it, and you start to see hey, this money really is leaving me. Whereas sometimes with a credit card or a debit card, it's whoop, that was easy. Whoop, that was easy. $5 feels the same as $20, as $100, as $1,000, yada, 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 yada. Now, I do credit cards because I do want to get that cash back side of it, but sometimes if maybe you struggle with money a little bit more, or you just find that you're always spending too much, if you do spend in cash, then you will physically probably feel a little more emotional about that money leaving, and you may just be inclined to save a little more. Number 7, I don't know why I got so close for this one, but I'll step back on the next one. But that is write out a weekly financial plan. So maybe every Sunday night, you write out your financial plan for the week. Now, it's important when you're writing out this financial plan to put in little things in there that you want to do. So maybe you want to budget in there for going out to eat, because it's oftentimes when you have no plan and you go throughout the week, you start splurging on these little things and it really starts to add up. But if you have it budgeted in there, hey, Friday night, I can go out to eat. I can go do this. I can go spend money on this with my buddies or something like that. Then if it's budgeted in there, then it's okay to do. But it's when you just kind of randomly go out to eat or randomly buy something because you didn't plan or budget it that it really starts to add up, because you don't really know what your finances are doing. So set up a plan and try to stick to it as much as possible, and don't be too hard on yourself. Allow for there to be cheat days, cheat meals. Allow yourself to save a little more, and maybe have that automatic deposit or just that saving money in there in your financial plan. But planning is just so important. I can't emphasize that enough. So this one all comes down to just weekly planning. Number 8, and this one's huge, and this is meal prep and kind of meal plan. And one thing that I don't think a lot of people realize is that when you meal prep, you can save a whole lot of money. So maybe, as I said on the last one, every Sunday you sit down, you can go to the grocery store, you can plan out your meals. Well, before you go to the grocery store, plan out your meals, get the recipes ready, and you can buy things in bulk, and you can get them in these nice little containers. There's tons of kind of meal prep kits on Amazon that are actually pretty cool looking, and you can really start to plan your meals, and you can get these great, healthy, fun, just really, really good meals for like $2. Whereas if you didn't meal prep, you'll find yourself you're going out to eat, or you don't want to spend money on something, so you end up just eating some old food or just frozen food or something like that, and it's not as good. So just try to meal prep on the weekends, and this also goes into that meal plan idea. That was the plan for when you go out to eat, or if you're going to go on a date or something like that. You can schedule your budget for it and adjust accordingly. So if you plan and prep your meals, then you can have great meals at great prices, and hey, that's a win-win. The number 9 thing you can do, small little change that can make a big difference, is lower one expense. Now, I didn't want to just keep it general and say, oh, lower your expenses and everything like that. But no, every week or maybe every month, you should have one expense that you should try to tackle and just try to lower it. So maybe this would be like a utility expense. So I want to lower my electric bill. So then you kind of spend that week or that month seeing, all right, what are ways that I can lower the electric bill? Are there ways, different habits I can get into? Where is most of the money, or where am I using most of the electricity? Can I cut that down somehow? Maybe you want to stop by Home Depot or somewhere like that and see if there are different appliances that use less electricity, and just tackle it one by one. So at the beginning of the month, beginning of the week, however long you want to work on this certain task, say, how can I lower this one expense? Now, maybe it costs you a little bit to get a new utility or a new kind of mechanism machine, but over the long run, if it's saving you on your electric bill every month, every year, then in the end, it'll probably pay for itself. So do it one by one. See what's taking out the most money that you're like, hey, maybe I'm not being too smart about that one. So then you can just plan for it, prep for it, and just see how can I save money. And ultimately, as you tackle one by one, you'll see that in the end, once you kind of finish all these different things, you'll say, hey, I'm saving a whole lot more money now. Number 10, the last one, and this one I think is one of the most important ones, and is certainly one of the most forgotten ones when it comes to saving money and trying to grow your wealth, and that is reward yourself. There's this really glorification of being really, really frugal and just never doing anything, never splurging, never buying yourself anything, never getting anything nice for yourself or your friends or anything else like that, just being as frugal as possible. And I don't think that's necessarily the best way to go about it. Does it work? Yes, but I don't think it's the best way, because you will oftentimes get burnt out when you do it. So me personally, contrary, I think, to what a lot of YouTubers may think of me, or what other YouTubers here on the platform, I'm not that frugal. I'm not frugal, but I am careful with my money. So I do allow myself to splurge. I do buy myself nice things. I, of course, think about the purchases. But in the end, I kind of I want to enjoy my life. I make money and I want to be able to enjoy it. I do, of course, invest a ton and I save a large percentage of my income, but I'm not insanely frugal because I want to enjoy life. Think of it, the best way I think about this one is, think of if you're going to go on a diet and you want to lose weight. So all you eat are just greens and rice and chicken. And that's it. That is all you eat. You're going to get burnt out. And oftentimes you're like, oh, I need ice cream, I need dessert. And you can crash really hard. But if you are a little more balanced and you let yourself cheat every once in a while, then in the end, the diet will probably work out better for you. So that's kind of how I think about frugality and different things like that. So rewarding yourself is so important, and if you say, hey, if I invest this much, if I save this much money, then I will take myself out to dinner, or I will do this, do that. So it's just something, always reward yourself, and hey, just award yourself on the little milestones that you have. So it's a great thing to do. But that will round it out. That last one is so important. I hope these were helpful because these are just small little changes that you can add to your life. And they're small little changes, but they can make a big change if you do them for a couple years and just keep them up over and over and over. You can start to really grow your wealth. So I do hope you guys enjoyed it. There are other ones out there. So then I kind of want to flip the question to you guys. What are some other small little changes that you can do that can help you make a lot of money? So I'd love it if you guys would drop that in the comments below. I'll be going through there. I'll be reading those. I'll of course be responding to you guys. And this is a topic I really enjoyed. And this one specifically, I really enjoyed researching this one, writing this one, and I really like these 10. So let me know what you guys think and any other ideas you may have. I'll be down in the comments talking to you guys, but thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for all the support. If you're new here, my name is Raab, and here I make videos all about personal finance. The reason I do that is because I believe that personal finance can be fun. So if you're interested in personal finance at all, I would love it if you would subscribe. When you do, you will find new videos here every single Monday and Friday. So just be sure to look out for those, and I'm excited to grow this channel. Have an awesome rest of your day. This will wrap it up. And as always, my name is Raab. And I will see you soon. Bye, guys.